So guys, this is the Doogee Mix, and if you haven't already heard of it, you might want to stay for this video, because for under $200, this is one of the most impressively spec'd phones we've ever seen on the channel. So it's got 6 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of storage, and an octa-core CPU. It's also got, more impressively I suppose, a near bezel-less design and dual camera system. Like, all in all, this is trying to compete with the big guys, and it'd be pretty interesting to see how well it achieves that. So I don't really do many unboxings on this channel, but let me know how it works out, and any feedback you could give would be greatly appreciated. With that being said, let's get started. So, that is the retail box, and I mean, first impressions, pretty nice. I mean, I like the matte finish, and I like how the letters are etched inside in this kind of symmetric looking font. It does look pretty consistent. As you can see right at the top, we've got the Aurora blue color, which I'm guessing means it's a shiny product. We'll find out pretty soon. And apart from that, there is more or less nothing on the box. So let's get right inside. So, phone is first in this nice little foam packaging. We're gonna put that aside, but I can see those no bezels looking nice. Right, so we've got a little cardboard box. I'm guessing instruction manual. Ooh, surprise. Okay, so we've got a plastic screen protector. Shame it's not a tempered glass. I don't know why they don't do that. It barely costs them anything extra, but okay, we've got a warranty card and an instruction manual. And a nice little case. It's a hard black case. This is a pretty sharp phone. I mean, it's quite reminiscent of Sony's Xperia line of smartphones. Not necessarily the most ergonomic line, so I'm not really sure why they've taken inspiration from there, but I suppose we'll have to see the end product to make a judgment. But all in all, pretty nice looking case. Already made a bit of a mess of this. Okay, let's just clear some stuff. Right, inside here we have a phone ring holder. Apparently, this is this is really unexpected, but okay, we'll go with it. Right, okay, so this is basically the iRing. The iRing was the original product that did this, but essentially you stick it on the back of your phone using this little adhesive, and then the phone can stand up through it. And I suppose as a little side benefit, you can slip your fingers through and stop you dropping the phone, more or less. Pretty cool little thing, and if I'm not mistaken, it should rotate. Yep, a little bit stiff, but it rotates. That's a pretty cool thing to include with the phone, actually. I quite like what they've done there. Moving on. So we have a USB 2, micro USB cable there, so no USB Type-C on this guy. And we have a US plug. I don't know why, I definitely live in the UK, for some reason I never get UK plugs. That's a shame. So I've also been eyeing up this guy for the last couple of minutes, and that is an 8GB memory stick. That's really like such a cool thing to include with a phone. I'm not sure why they've done it, but I mean, it looks really good on a keychain. That is a cool gift. And right at the bottom, we've actually got a little SIM ejector tool. Interesting to note, they've actually included a plastic handle on it. I genuinely think that makes it look so much better. That's a cool thing. I think companies should genuinely learn from that. Cool piece of kit. I might be using that for my other phones as well. Nothing else in the box. Nope. Okay, so let's get on to the phone itself. Now, we've got this little ribbon, so we can pull it out, and bam, there we go. It's super reflective. For some reason, they've also put a screen protector on the back. Now, the reason for that, the front and back of the phone are made of Gorilla Glass 5, which, considering the price of the guy, is such an impressive thing to include. We've got, as you can see, the dual camera system there, looking really swish. I am so impressed by the build quality here. I mean, considering the price, you really could not tell the difference. It's got a matte finish running around the edges of the phone, and quite nice smoothed edges. And so in terms of how it feels in the hands, first impression, heavy, and that is to be expected if they've got slabs of glass on the front and the back. It's a heavy phone, and also it's got a 3380 mAh battery, which is not small. So the second thing, unfortunately, it still feels a little bit sharp to the touch. I mean, it's definitely better than the first gen Xperia phones, which were basically rectangles, but at the same time, coming from the Galaxy S8, you can tell the difference here. Now, part of this is a stylistic choice, clearly, but at the same time, I'm not completely sure it's paid off here. But I mean, yeah, so far it looks like a really cool phone. As you can see on the bottom right, we've got the front camera, which It's going to be a bit confusing to start with. You're going to obviously have to be quite careful not to cover it with your fingers, but I'm sure that's something we can get used to. And I guess the thing I'm most impressed by with this is the fact that they're innovated on design. So a lot of these smartphone companies, especially the ones you see in China and abroad, they tend not to innovate on design so much. They tend to improve the specifications, but they're stuck with backwards design. Whereas this genuinely looks like a company that is trying to compete with the very best phones released this year. So yeah, I mean, super excited to test it, but let's get into some first impressions. So one of the first things I noticed is the fingerprint scanner here is crazy fast. Literally it feels like between 0.1 and 0.2 seconds, you're in the phone almost instantly. Also the fact that the 5.5 inch screen here is AMOLED is almost instantly evident. It is so bright, so punchy, it's a really beautiful display, it took me off guard. So I had two main observations upon using the phone. The first one is that the phone is capable, it's got the potential to be very fast, and the second one is that it's let down by this rather shoddy operating system. It just feels a little bit over bloated, a little bit childish, and to be honest it's just throwing loads of functionality and apps in your face, which you don't really need. However, there is light at the end of the tunnel. The fact that it is so capable means that if you do spend some time tinkering it, installing a custom launcher, some custom icons, probably a custom font too, you could get a really cool Android experience for not a lot of money. So in terms of the phone's dual camera setup, we've got an 8 megapixel and a 16 megapixel camera on the back. And as far as dual cameras go, this has to be probably the least effective one I've seen. The actual bokeh effect you can get from it doesn't seem to work very well at all, and also the phone struggles a little bit with HDR. Having said that, the fact that this even has dual cameras for this price is genuinely impressive, and compared to similarly priced phones, the camera doesn't necessarily stand out in a good or a bad way. So guys, that's the Doogee Mix. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to check out the end screens on this video because I've got a couple of other really interesting ones that I think you'll like to check out. With that being said, I'm Mr. Who's the Boss, and I'm signing out.